into the details of their matchup versus the Celtics. Of course, you can hear the game right here on 97.3 ESPN. Plus, our first look at the Eagles versus the Chiefs. Of course, that'll be Monday night, not Sunday. Another Sunday without the Birds, but you can still hear the game Monday night right here on your home for Eagles football in South Jersey, 97.3 ESPN. Dave Weinberg is back for another Weinberg Wednesday coming up in less than 20 minutes from now. And one of the final days for you to qualify for 99 bottles. You must hear the sounder, call in, and call number 7. You another qualifier. This is one of the final days for qualifying, so keep your ears open for when the sounder goes off here during game night on 97.3 ESPN. We got to start with the Sixers, though, because last night was frustrating to watch. Now, in part, Obi Toppin and Tyrese Halliburton probably heard what I had to say yesterday when I was saying that Tyrese Maxey is one of the best players from their draft class. And they decided to go out there only combined for 60 points and 13 rebounds, have 0 turnovers in the Pacers win. And Maxey had a rough night. He's shot 9 for 23. I will give Maxey credit. He did play better in the second half. But it was so obvious the Pacers just showed up and outplayed the 76ers from start to finish. They won 3 of the 4 quarters last night in Indiana. And it was obvious the Pacers made adjustments and Philadelphia was not able to figure things out quickly enough. And so now tonight is going to be the most important game of the season thus far for the 76ers. Now, there will be other big games this season. But up to November 15th, today is the biggest game on the calendar. Because today is the day we are going to find out what this Philadelphia 76ers ball club is made of. What Nick Nurse is truly made of. We are going to find out exactly how good of a coach, how good these players are, because you're not just playing a normal back-to-back, which in of himself, back-to-backs is the stupidest thing the NBA does, right? But I digress. The 76ers are playing the Celtics literally a week after they already beat them. These are not ideal circumstances. This is not a situation that you prefer to be in. How do the Sixers respond? To me, that is the biggest element I am watching for in this game tonight. There is nothing else in this game that I am more intrigued by than how do the 76ers adjust to a world where you are not being given the ideal situation. Last time you played, it was a much more ideal environment, much more ideal situation. Now, you've already had one team make adjustments and beat you. Will the Celtics also make adjustments and beat you, or will you be prepared for them? Philadelphia cannot allow Boston to beat them from the three-point line like the Pacers did last night. The Pacers hit 13 threes last night, and the Sixers only had 6. You cannot let that happen. Whatever happened last night, the 76ers have to find a way to put it behind them, forget about it, and move on. And do what is best to win the game. I don't think it's any little thing to find out how Nick Nurse and Sixers adjust tonight, because this is the first time Nick Nurse is going to be handling any sort of real game adversity. Sure, this team has dealt with real world adversity with Kelly Oubre, and the first time to play without him, it got them a little extra hype, got them a little extra going, and they won that game on Sunday. But then they lost the next game. So now, when you flip the script, the question is, now you have to respond in basketball sense. How does that go? How does that work? Now, what I would like to see tonight from the 76ers, because I'm not just going to complain about them, I'm going to give you an idea I have. And one of the ideas I have is I would like to see the 76ers find a way to take advantage of Boston. Why do I say that? Because the word is out there that Jaylen Brown is not playing tonight. Apparently, he's sick. He will not play tonight. That's one of the two big guys for Boston. So the question then becomes, can this Sixers team take advantage of those circumstances? No Jaylen Brown. He has now been ruled out for tonight's game with what they're calling a sickness. Feel better, Jalen. Go get some Gatorade or something. And thanks for not playing tonight if you're a Sixers fan. But you look around and Boston is going to be shorthanded. Can you beat Boston when they're shorthanded? Can you take advantage of Boston when they don't have Jaylen Brown? Can you push this team out the door and take this win? One of the ways you can do it is you got to do a better job at being more fundamental on defense. I understand the Pacers run a very high volume, very high pace style of basketball. But if the Celtics are going to be without Jaylen Brown, and if they're going to be without Kristaps Porzingis, if they're going to be without, both of those guys, this is your game to lose. This is your game to either put up or shut up. There has never been a Sixers game where you should win more than tonight. You want to get the stink of losing out of your system as soon as possible. Boston is shorthanded. You are in your house. You slept in your bed last night. You are in the comfort of home. You should win this game tonight. And if you don't, it says a lot about the state of this team. And I hope I am wrong about that. Josh Hennig here on GameNight 97.3 ESPN FM, 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Seattle. The text board is open at 609-403-0973. Over on the text board, let's see here. Oh my goodness. Sorry about that, folks. I had a little technical issue there, but we'll go to Joey D. and Ventnor chimes in and says, what is going on with Kelly Oubre? From Joey D. and Ventnor. Well, when we talked to Austin Krell yesterday, it looks like that Oubre is going to be out for weeks. Okay, he's not going to be able to come back anytime soon. All right, the reporting out there is that he has a broken rib, and that even though he's riding the bike at the facility, obviously that is an injury that is not an overnight, immediately healing situation. So I would suspect Oubre is probably going to be out of action for a month. That's my working assumption. You probably won't see him again until mid to late December would be my working assumption, at least. So I'm not a doctor. I don't evaluate Kelly Oubre. I don't know Kelly Oubre personally, so I only can tell you what I know, Joey D. And what I know is that it looks like he's going to be out for weeks. And if he's out for weeks, then that means Philadelphia is going to have to learn to play without him and then be glad when he returns. And again, they won on Sunday without him, and then they lost last night without him. So you're already you're already getting good practice, right? For how you're going to deal with not being with him. Danny HT says, I agree with Mike Gill. He always says a Wednesday night in November doesn't mean much at all in the NBA. Well, Danny HT, you can agree with Mike Gill. I mean, I wouldn't even say Mike Gill even said that about tonight's game. I think that it's not about a random game in November about being relevant. It's about this is an opportunity for this team to learn about themselves, learn about who they are, learn about how they can adjust. This is the very first time that this Sixers team, as currently constructed, will have to play a back-to-back against two teams that have already seen them this year. Again, it's not a must-win, but it's a learning opportunity for all of us. Sixers Celtics tonight at 7:30 is the coverage. Tom McGinnis on the call right here on 97.3 ESPN. Coming up next, we'll talk with Dave Weinberg for this week's edition of Weinberg Wednesday, plus more of your texts coming up. 609-403-0973 in your DMs into the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Sea Isle.
Tom McCarthy here from Westwood One. A big AFC North matchup coming on Thursday Night Football to start Week 11 when Lamar Jackson and the 7-3 Ravens host Joe Burrow and the 5-4 Cincinnati Bengals. Both are coming off a loss, and Baltimore needs a win to solidify the division lead. Join me and Jason McCourty for all the action of the Bengals and the Ravens on Thursday Night Football.
Listen to Thursday Night Football on 97.3 ESPN. It's at 7:30.
Your Palace awaits. Caesars Palace Online Casino is now live. Download today and register using code RADIOLAUNCH. New users get a $10 sign-up bonus, a 100% deposit match up to $1,000, and 2,500 reward credits after wagering $25. Must be 21 and physically present in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, or West Virginia. Minimum wagering within 7 days required to unlock bonuses. Full terms and wagering requirements at CaesarsPalaceOnline.com/promos. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. In West Virginia, all games regulated by the West Virginia Lottery. Please play responsibly.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. So minivans, sedans, JDMs, roll out. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. And with eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Dell's Black Friday event is their biggest sale of the year. Shop limited time deals on laptops like the stylish, innovative XPS 13, engineered to do it all on the Intel Evo platform. Plus, save big on ultra-sharp monitors and top brand accessories. It's the perfect time to upgrade any home, business, or gaming setup powered by Intel Core processors. Shop now at Dell.com/deals to take advantage of huge savings and free shipping. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
With Black Friday savings all month long at the Home Depot, you get all the jingle bells and whistles you could wish for with LG appliances. With America's most reliable line of appliances per independent consumer study, you can take holiday doing to holiday done and always be ready to handle last-minute holiday guests. Save up to $900 on select laundry sets with Black Friday savings, including top brands like LG. At the Home Depot, how doers get more done.
When you switch to Boost Mobile, you can get a free Samsung Galaxy A23 5G and a pretty powerful way to get after it.
Like me, Tusi, a man who fell in love with music and fell on hard times. From writing songs in my room to sitting on top of the charts. All because I made poetry out of pain. No, I just knew I'd be on the stage singing your favorite song.
Switch to Boost and get a free Samsung Galaxy A23 5G phone on America's largest 5G networks.
Boost Mobile. Get after it.
New customers only. Taxes extra. One device per line. 5G not available everywhere. Other restrictions apply.
With GMF financing to qualify buyers, excludes Corvette, excludes prior sales. When you need a car, there's only one thing to know. There's no beating Bennett. While other dealers are still selling at or even above MSRP, Bennett is selling new vehicles at the GM supplier employee price. Not one penny more. That could easily save you 10% or thousands of dollars on your next car. But that's just the beginning, because Bennett gives you all the rebates. Not either or, you get both. And if you want used, the news gets better. Bennett is paying a whopping minimum 10 grand for any trade towards any pre-owned in stock. That's a minimum $10,000 for total junk. Imagine how much more you'll get if your trade actually runs. And finally, our non-commissioned sales staff is paid based on your satisfaction, not how much you spend, so there's never any pressure. It's actually a very pleasant experience. But don't take our word for it. Find new roads at Bennett Chevy, Egg Harbor Township, and BennettChevy.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Powered by the all-new BetParks New Jersey Casino and Sportsbook app. BetParks.com. This is the Town Square, New Jersey Info and Weather Network.
Sixers versus Boston in South Philly tonight. I'm Danny Ryan with your South Jersey Sports Center. The Pacers beat the 76ers 132-126 last night, snapping Philadelphia's 8-game win streak. With this loss, the Sixers fall to 8-2 on the season and to 1-1 in the in-season tournament group stage. Next up, it's a battle of 8-2 teams as the Sixers face the rival Boston Celtics tonight. Listen live on 97.3 ESPN. Coverage starts at 7:30. The Flyers are back in action tonight in North Carolina against the Hurricanes. Listen live on Rock 104.1. Coverage starts at 7:30. Your Philadelphia Eagles face the Kansas City Chiefs this week in a Super Bowl 57 rematch. Listen live Monday night right here on 97.3 ESPN. Coverage starts at 7. Merrill and Mike have the call at 8:15. For more Eagles, Sixers, Phillies, and Flyers, download our free mobile app. Your forecast is next.
Do gambling apps keep calling your name? Losing control is a scary thing. You can lose your savings, your family, your friends. Let us help you get back on your feet and get your life back. Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit 800gambler.org.
From the Town Square, New Jersey Info and Weather Network, I'm Chief Meteorologist Dan Zero. Nice day alert for tomorrow as temperatures start to warm back up. Skies will clear out tonight. It'll be seasonably chilly. Low temperature dips to around 40 degrees, give or take. Tomorrow's high, 64. Mostly sunny skies. Sounds good to me. Still mild on Friday with a high of 68, although skies become mostly cloudy. Next chance of rain moving in late Friday night through the first half of Saturday. Get weather 24/7 wherever you are. Download our free mobile app today.
Rent, mortgage, car payments, life. It all adds up. So New Jersey is providing property tax relief to make New Jersey more affordable. Up to $1,750 for homeowners and up to $700 for renters. That's real New Jersey property tax relief to use for the things you need most. Apply for your renter or homeowner tax relief at anchor.nj.gov. Again, visit anchor.nj.gov to apply today.
You're listening to Game Night with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app.
We'll get back to the text board in just a bit. I see Dan and EHC disagreeing with me at 609-403-0973. But right now, we're going to squeeze him in for a moment because he is joining us while he's on vacation. Dave Weinberg is back for a Weinberg Wednesday. ESPN. Dave, welcome in. I appreciate you squeezing us into your vacation there.
Oh, thanks, Josh. Yeah, I'm down in Orlando just for a little R&R. Unfortunately, it's been raining for the last couple of days. It's unprecedented, but what are you going to do?
It's Florida, Dave. I mean, you never get what you expected down there. You know,
that's true. Very true. Yep. I did get some golf in today, so that was good.
Well, I remember the last time I was in Florida, there was one day it was supposed to downpour all day. It was bright and sunny and 85 the whole day. So, I mean, you can't.
Just wait 5 minutes. It'll change. Yeah.
Right. Dave, a couple things I want to hit on with you. First of all, from all your years covering the Eagles as a veteran Eagles writer, you obviously saw the entire Andy Reid tenure. And this is going to be the first day that I really start digging into the Eagles in the Chiefs game. Andy Reid is 28-4 off the bye week if you include the postseason.
Mm-hmm.
From your experience covering him, why is Andy Reid so good off the bye week?
Yeah, I think we talked about this before, Josh. I mean, just he has this way of he gives the players time away from the game to let them rest and recharge, just to forget about football for a week or so. I mean, it brings them back, but the coaches himself and the coaching staff, they stay and review what they've done to that point, get ready for the next challenge, the next game, and it just seems to work that way. It seems to work well for them. They like you said, that his record after a bye is just unbelievable, and I guess it's just his preparation plus the fact that the guys come back energized and refreshed after getting a little time off.
When you think about this matchup, how concerned are you that the Chiefs are a team? They have scored 20 or less points 4 times this year. How concerned are you that Andy Reid is going to come out of this bye week with some crazy plan that's going to blow the Eagles defense away?
It's certainly a possibility. Like I said, the more time you give him to prepare, the better off he's going to be, the worse off you're going to be. I don't know that he has the firepower that he's had in some past years to go ahead and put 35, 40 points on the board. But, certainly if anybody could find a way to do it, it's probably him, especially when you give him an extra week to prepare for you. So it's going to be interesting to see how he tackles this challenge. The Eagles defense is playing, relatively well. There's some holes in that secondary that he'll probably try to exploit.
Talk with Dave Weinberg here for a Weinberg Wednesday here on Game Night on 97.3 ESPN. Extra point columns over at 97.3 ESPN.com. Dave, one of the other questions we have coming out of the bye week is, what are the Eagles going to look like? Because we know going into the bye week, they were a little banged up. They weren't playing perfect ball, Dave, but they seem to be getting a little better. What is your personal expectation of the Eagles coming up on Monday night?
I think they'll give a pretty good performance. I'm expecting the Chiefs to win only because of what you said about Andy Reid after a bye, the fact they're in Kansas City, which is a, pretty rowdy atmosphere, pretty loud. And, I think that home field advantage is pretty telling when you're at Arrowhead. So, but I expect them to give a good performance. Like in many ways, it's kind of like what Reid does with Kansas City. I think Nick gave them some time off. You saw, they got away from football for a little bit, and now they're getting a little bit more rested, I guess, and a little healthier. So I'm expecting a very good game. I mean, I think Kansas City will win, but the Eagles will certainly present a stiff challenge to them.
Dave, do you believe in the Taylor Swift stat that the Chiefs play better when she's in the building?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, right? I don't know if she's going to get back from Argentina in time to take in this game, right? So, I think it's just pure coincidence. I mean, but I don't know that it's a coincidence. I mean, Travis Kelce plays very well when she's in the stands there, right?
That's right.
For the Eagles' benefit, maybe they'll just hope that she misses this one.
There are some people online saying that they will be upset if Taylor Swift goes to this game and she only has Kansas City Chiefs gear on.
Right.
Do you care? Do you not care what she claims she's an Eagles fan?
That's true. Yeah,
Eagles Chiefs game, and she's only wearing a Travis Kelce jersey. Let's say, what do people do then?
Yeah, it's going to be tough to see where her loyalties lie, right? I mean, she's from Bucks County, I think, and spent a lot of time in Stone Harbor as a kid. So, the South Jersey connection is real there too. So, yeah, she does claim that she's an Eagles fan, although I don't know, she seems to be pretty hot and heavy with Travis at the moment. So, it's going to be difficult to see where her loyalties lie. Maybe it's like Travis and Jason Kelce's mom. Maybe she'll have one of those half and half jerseys or something like that.
Or maybe she can just get it from Travis Kelce's mom. I mean,
yeah, there you go. Yeah.
I mean,
she'll
apparently
watching with him.
Yeah, they're probably all going to hang out in the same box together if she's going to be at the game anyway. So, I mean,
yeah, and Mahomes' wife, right? I forget her name, but
Brittany.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Well, Mahomes has his own jinx going on now because every Texas Tech game he attends now, apparently they win. So
Oh,
that
really?
happened again. Happened again this past weekend because he went to the Texas Tech at Kansas game, and somehow Texas Tech found a way to win the game when he was in attendance. So,
Oh, how about that? Okay.
yeah, these Dave, you know how it is. We have a stat for everything now in today's world. So,
yep. Did you see that billboard in Chicago, by the way, when Jason Kelsey was there?
Yes.
He said, "Welcome, Taylor Swift's boyfriend's brother."
Right.
I thought that was classic.
Well, I mean, also Jason Kelsey's the nominee for sexiest man alive. So you got
Yeah,
that
boy.
going.
Yep.
Although I did think it was funny because I don't know if you saw the broadcast that night because he was in the booth with Al Michaels and
Mhm.
Al started saying he was like, when I heard that Kelsey was being nominated for sexiest man alive, you know who I thought it was? And Jason immediately said, "Of course you thought it was me." Just to razz, Al Michaels a little bit. So that was all good fun. But Dave, before I let you go, I did want a quick Phillies question in here because Aaron Nola, obviously, he has opted out of his qualifying offer. He's officially a free agent now. So, what are your thoughts on Aaron Nola potentially leaving, staying, and who would you be okay with them replacing him with some of the less underwhelming names that are out there?
I'd go after like Blake Snell or one of the major names. I think I've said that to you before. Who won the Cy Young, by the way? Did they announce it yet?
They're supposed to be announcing it today, I believe.
Yeah, I
So,
thought it was
but
at
I
6
know
o'clock. Maybe I could be wrong. I don't know. Anyway, um, I if I'm the Phillies, I think I'd rather have him stay. If there's not, I don't want anything lesser. I mean, I don't want a run of the mill kind of guy. If you're going to let him go, I think I'd rather like go after like one of those top of the line free agents if you can.
By the way, it looks like Blake Snell is the official Cy Young Award winner. I'm
There you go.
pulling up the breakdown. Yep, he has now he's got 2 Cy Youngs. So, if you bring him in, you can have about 6 guys all account for about $1 billion of salary. So.
Yeah, I was going to say that's going to drive his price tag up. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. According to BBWA, he got 28 out of the 31st place votes. That's
wow.
That's basically a unanimous decision right there. So
yeah. How about that? Oh, good for him.
Yeah. Well, then you could have 3 lefties in the starting rotation next year. So that'll always be interesting. Well, Dave, I appreciate you popping in for a few minutes here. I'll let you get back to your festivities down there in Florida and try to stay dry until the weather changes again. Okay.
I'll try, Josh. I appreciate you having me as always. I'll talk to you next week. We'll spend more
Absolutely.
time next week. Definitely.
Of course. It's day for Thanksgiving. We got to talk about what we're thankful for,
Oh, there you go. Okay. Very good. All right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sounds good, Josh. Thanks again.
Absolutely. Dave Weinberg joining us here on a Weinberg Wednesday. He's down there on vacation, popped in for a few minutes with us. Yeah, Blake Snell is officially the 2023 Cy Young Award winner. The other 2 votes, 1 vote went to Logan Webb, 1 vote went to Zach Gallen. Blake Snell also received 2 second-place votes. So even on the 2 ballots where he wasn't the number 1, he was still the number 2. So that's an overwhelming. I mean, that's like in an MMA fight when a guy wins a decision like 50-45. Like you just are like, all right, obviously you won the whole fight, So I thought it was interesting what Dave Weinberg said at the end there because he said, look, if Aaron Nola's not coming back, replace him with a guy like Blake Snell. And my response is, well, that's gonna cost you a lot of money. And I know it's not my money. Okay. I know somebody in their car right now listening to 97.3 ESPN is saying, Josh, what do you care? It's not your money. But here's why I care. Because when I look at the big picture, okay, when I look at beyond the obvious, okay, I have to realize that despite what the Phillies may say publicly, in private, There has to be a part of the group that when they're all having conversations amongst themselves, that is going to look around and say, guys, we got a lot of money tied up in basically 6-7 guys. We got all this money tied up in Harper, Turner, Schwarber, Castellanos, Real Muto. Now we're going to bring in Blake Snell, and we have to re-sign Zach Wheeler at some point. So now you go from 5 to 6 to 7. The prices are not getting any cheaper for these guys because you haven't developed anyone enough in your minor league system to fill the void for some of these players. So how do you then proceed with a team with a massive, massive payroll and you don't win a championship? It doesn't matter that what they say publicly. What matters is that these are the conversations that every team has in private. Now, whether they handle things well is a different conversation. You know, you look at a team like the Yankees right now. The Yankees, they're not handling things well, and the he said, she said is blowing up in their face. You look at an organization like the Dodgers, they're being quiet as a mouse. They're not saying nothing about nobody. They're just trying to get who they want in free agency. And the Phillies, they can say all they want. Hey, we're trying to win a championship. Hey, our goal is to be a better team next year. Our goal is to be back in the NLCS again so we can get back to the World Series. You can say that all you want, but if you go out and sign Blake Snell, then you have to have a conversation. What does that mean for Zach Wheeler's future? There are people who believe Zach Wheeler was one of the best pitchers in all of baseball last year. You know, if I pull back up the Cy Young Award voting, Zach Wheeler received 4 third-place votes and 5 fourth-place votes, and he had a total of 28 points from the voting. I bring that up because that means that there are, of all the baseball voters, there's 30 voters of this award. Of those 30 voters, half of them believe Zach Wheeler is one of the 5 best pitchers in all of baseball. They are expressly telling you that. So just based on that small sample size, we can project that half of the baseball world thinks that Zach Wheeler is one of the 5 best pitchers in all of baseball. And if you bring in Blake Snell and you give him all of that money and you don't win a World Series next year, how does that impact what you do about Zach Wheeler's future? And on top of that, how about all the people who want to get rid of Nick Castellanos and bring in Mike Trout? Mike Trout also has a massive contract. So now, let's say you do go out and bring in Mike Trout somehow, some way, and you do sign Blake Snell. What happens if you don't win the World Series after making all those moves? What else can you do? And this was the conundrum that eventually led Dave Dombrowski to leave Detroit. He got the Tigers to 2 World Series. He got them right to the promised land. He brought them to the door, and they couldn't get the job done. Not once, but twice, he rebuilt the roster, and eventually they lost their window. Eventually, all the big players that he had couldn't do the job anymore, and he had to leave and let somebody else blow it up. That's how he ended up in Boston. They won a World Series of Boston. I'm just wondering, for Dombrowski, how many years does he keep trying to do this? Mike Trout is owed $35 million each of the next 7 years. Think about that for a minute. $35 million a year. It's a little more than 35 million, but just for rounding up purposes, okay? Just for quick math off the top of my head, because I don't want to spend too much amount of time trying to do math on the radio here on 97.3 ESPN. But Mike Trout is going to be owed what's that? 140 plus 70, that's 210, okay? So it's 210 for Trout, 200 for Blake Snell. You're still paying all the other guys. At what point do the Phillies say, man, we are paying these guys a lot of money and we have no championship to show for it? What do we do now? All right, we got a bunch of texts to get to. 609-403-0973. Justin from Galloway, George in Summers Point, Dan in EHT, and Jeff in Ocean State. I'll get all your texts coming up on the other side at 609-403-0973 and your DMs into the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle.
It's Sixers basketball tonight on 97.3 ESPN with the voice of the 76ers, Tom McGinnis, calling all the exciting play-by-play action.
McConnell has it ahead to heel into the lane, blocked by Maxey. Oh, are you kidding me? A tremendous rejection.
The Sixers host the Celtics tonight. Coverage begins at 7:30. Philadelphia 76ers basketball on your radio home of the Sixers in South Jersey, 97.3 ESPN.
Rev up with Gentilini Chevrolet for the Community Resource Fair, brought to you by the Woodbine Elementary School. Learn about the future of the auto industry. We're here to provide all the facts without bias, so you can make an informed decision that is best for you. Stop by our booth at the fair on November 21st from 1 to 3:30 p.m. If you can't make it to the fair, no worries. You can stop by our dealership anytime for your own personalized electric vehicle experience.
Just a short drive from anywhere. Gentilini Family Motors.
Discover, this is Daniela.
Hi, it's Jennifer Coolidge. I just want to thank you for making me feel so special. I earned cash back on debit for my dinner party groceries.
That's great. But with Discover Cashback Debit, we give everyone cash back on everyday purchases. Anything else I can help you with?
Do you like asparagus and mushroom sorbet? I've got leftovers.
Introducing Discover Cashback Debit, a checking account with cash back. It pays to Discover. Eligibility and terms at discover.com/cashback debit. Discover Bank, member FDIC.
Always night pads are designed for a perfect night's sleep, so you can do your bear hugging a pillow thing, your free falling starfish thing, your burritoed in a blanket with the AC blasting thing. While Always night pads with rapid dry do their we've got your back with fast absorbency and up to 10 hours of protection thing. So while your period's doing its own thing, Always lets you do your sleep thing. Shop for Always in-store or online, wherever you get your pads.
'Tis almost the season. Get head-to-toe holiday ready at JCPenney. Whether you're in party mode, out and about, or hanging out at home, we've got the style to get your family in the spirit, all in one place. Like the dress that makes every guest list, or that cute outfit that fits perfectly in Santa's lap. Don't forget the matching PJs, a festive weekend tradition. Your favorite brands are ready to mingle and be merry all season long. Looks that wow, all priced to impress. Make your holidays count. JCPenney.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-583-2668. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-583-2668. 800-583-2668. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
She's running around. Her breath doesn't smell. Her digestive system is perfect. It has made such a huge difference.
What did this dog parent do for their dog? She switched to Nature's Blend, a premium freeze-dried raw dog food made by Dr. Marty Goldstein, a veterinarian Forbes magazine called the Miracle Worker. It's the easiest way to support your dog's easy digestion, nourished skin, playful energy, and most importantly, their healthy, full life.
I'm so confident your dog will love it. Your order is backed with a 90-day guarantee.
Save up to 54% off Nature's Blend and get a free full-sized bag of Tilly's Treasures dog treats. They're best-selling beef liver dog treats while supplies last. Go to drmartypets.com/deal or text DEAL to 511-511. Go to drmartypets.com/deal or shop in over 2,000 stores nationwide. Use the store locator to find the store closest to you. All pets are unique. Your pet's results can and will vary. Message and data rates may apply. Studies available upon request.
97.3 ESPN has teamed up with Seize the Deal for incredible weekly offers from some fantastic local restaurants. Here's this week's big deal.
Get a $50 gift card good for use at Provenza Restaurant and Event Center in Ventnor for just $25.
Get this great deal starting Friday at 9 a.m. at seizethedeal.com. Hurry, chances are this deal will sell quickly. For more info on this great deal, go to seizethedeal.com.
SeizeTheDeal.com. O'Reilly.
Protect your engine better with Syntec Full Synthetic High Mileage Motor Oil, only at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Syntec High Mileage is formulated for today's engines with over 75,000 miles. Now get 5 quarts of Syntec High Mileage and a MicroGuard Select oil filter for just $34.99. Limit supply. Visit O'Reilly Auto Parts for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hi, what brings you to the clinic today?
Oh, the baby's not feeling well. I think she might have a fever.
Well, let's check her temp with the Exergen thermometer. You're right. These Exergen thermometers are very accurate. Reads 101.2.
Oh, gosh. Well, that Exergen thermometer sure is fast and easy to use.
Yes, and many doctors recommend Exergen for home use.
Exergen thermometers, backed by over 100 clinical studies, are available at Walgreens and participating retailers. Learn more at Exergen.com.
With GMF financing, qualified buyers excludes Corvette, excludes prior sales. When you need a car, there's only one thing to know. There's no beating Bennett. While other dealers are still selling at or even above MSRP, Bennett is selling new vehicles at the GM supplier employee price. Not one penny more. That could easily save you 10% or thousands of dollars on your next car. But that's just the beginning, because Bennett gives you all the rebates. Not either or, you get both. And if you want used, the news gets better. Bennett is paying a whopping minimum $10,000 for any trade towards any pre-owned in stock. That's a minimum $10,000 for total junk. Imagine how much more you'll get if your trade actually runs. And finally, our non-commissioned sales staff is paid based on your satisfaction, not how much you spend, so there's never any pressure. It's actually a very pleasant experience. But don't take our word for it. Find new roads at Bennett Chevy, Egg Harbor Township, and BennettChevy.com.
When you wake up well-rested on a great mattress, everything becomes clear.
My life coach has a terrible life.
Things you missed when you were tired finally reveal themselves.
My passport is in the pocket of the duffel bag I took to Mexico.
It's the Black Friday sale at Mattress Firm. Get a king bed for a queen price and save up to $700 on Sealy. Plus, get a free adjustable base with select mattresses. And if you see a better price, we'll match it. The right mattress matters. We'll find yours. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Academy Award nominee Chaz Palminteri brings his original one-man show, A Bronx Tale, to Ovation Hall in Ocean Casino Resort, Saturday, April 20th. Experience this critically acclaimed,
one-man show that will take you back to the Bronx in the 1960s. A Bronx Tale, written and performed by Chaz Palminteri. Saturday, April 20th at Ovation Hall in Ocean Casino Resort. Tickets on sale Friday, November 17th at theoceanac.com.
Now, more Game Night with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app.
Don't forget, it's still coming up in about 7 minutes from now will be your final opportunity to qualify today for 99 bottles. It's today, tomorrow, and Friday. These are the final days to qualify for this year's 99 bottles. So when you hear the sounder and we tell you to call, well, if you're call number 7, you are in for this year's 99 bottles party. All right, let's get back to you guys. You guys out there texting in at 609-403-0973 and your DMs into the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank. And see how Dan EHC followed up with me earlier and said, how can we gauge a victory or a loss tonight if Brown isn't playing? Being off a game last night also, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to think. Well, I'm telling you how I gauge it. I'll reemphasize this. It's not about Boston to me, Dan EHT. It's about, I am curious to see how the 76ers adjust. How do they adjust on a back-to-back? How do they adjust in a game where they are expected to bounce back, right? They're at home. They should find a way to win, right? Sixers, Philadelphia, home court advantage, right? How do they execute? How do they bounce back? What is their move? What is their attitude? There were times last night that Joel Embiid looked like he ran out of gas at the end of that game. Does he look like that again tonight? Remember, the first game of the year, Embiid looked sluggish. First game of the year. For Embiid, this is way more mental, I think, sometimes than it is physical. That's why I'm saying it's significant. Jeff in Ocean City chimes in at 609-403-0973. He says, my biggest concern the rest of the way for the Eagles is our secondary. However, we should find a way to outscore teams and win those games. Secondary is an interesting conversation because, Kevin Byard has historically been a thorn in the side for the Chiefs and for Travis Kelce. So we're going to find out on Monday, was Kevin Byard this all-pro safety because of the scheme he was in, or because he is that player consistently? Also, James Bradbury has not had as good of a year this year as last year. Remember, last year, he was one of the highest rated Pro Football Focus cornerbacks all season long. This year, not so much. He has struggled at times. And remember, is Bradley Roby back? That is something to keep an eye on. How does he look when he comes back? Kansas City does not have a bona fide slot receiver that scares you. Now, they have Travis Kelce, who sometimes line up in the slot. That scares you. But Rasheed Rice, Sky Moore, none of those guys really scare you, right? They reacquired McCall Hardman. He has not had a big impact yet in his return to Kansas City. So it'll be interesting to see how do the weaknesses of Philadelphia, slot corner, consistency of play at safety, James Bradbury, how do all of these shortcomings impact the game? And then that'll answer you for the rest of the year, Jeff in Ocean City. Because if they hold their own against the Chiefs team that has scored 20 points or less in 4 games this year, then they'll tell you that the rest of the schedule, they'll be fine. Buffalo, 49ers, Dallas Cowboys in Dallas. Those games will be a lot less daunting. You can lose in Kansas City on Monday night and still walk away feeling like you can win out the rest of these games. If Kansas City beats you 23-20 on Monday Night Football, that already tells you that this team lost because it was a game on the road, not because they're the worst team in that scenario. Just something to think about heading into that game. George in Summers Point chimes in and says, hey, Josh, I agree with your estimation that Morey has not done crafting the Sixers team for this season, and last night's game showed that they need another player. My question for you is, what type of player do you think Morey should earmark, and do you have any preferences for anyone out there that he may trade for? I like DeMar DeRozan. I think DeMar DeRozan is a guy who makes a lot of sense for this team. He would be a natural guy to put on the floor with the rest of these guys. He doesn't really necessarily take anyone's specific role offensively on this team. And he does not need the ball in his hand to be an impact player. I know Mike Gillis talked about OG Anunoby. I think the Nick Nurse connection and the whole perspective on the idea that Nick Nurse wants to run this team a certain way, and Anunoby would fit in with the way this team wants to run this offense. And he's a space shooter. He's an athlete. He can play defense. So he does fit a lot of, checks a lot of boxes. I'm personally not interested in Zach LaVine. I think Zach LaVine would take shots and opportunities away from Tyrese Maxey. I don't think he is a natural complement to this team. I think that he's a young man who needs to go somewhere where he's allowed to be all he can be, and not a place like Philadelphia where he might take shots away from Embiid and Maxey. You need a complement to those guys, not a guy who needs the ball in his hand and needs to take shots to be happy. And then Justin from Galloway says, I am ready for this Monday night game against the Chiefs. Not worried. I'm very confident the Eagles are a great team. I don't have to worry. I think this will be a pleasant surprise. I hope you're right, Justin. I hope you're right that this will be a pleasant surprise. I would like to see that. But as of right now, and I reserve the right to change my mind by the time I get to Friday's game night here on 97.3 ESPN. But as of right here, right now, I am not that confident. Right here, right now, on Wednesday, I just feel like the Chiefs are at home. Andy Reid off the bye. To me, I don't think the losing the game matters in the grand scheme of things. I think you could still go on to win the NFC again and get back to the Super Bowl, whether you win or lose this game or not. There are tons of teams that had 3, 4, 5 losses in the regular season and went on to win a championship. That part doesn't bother me. But I think it's a great opportunity to find out what your strengths and weaknesses are this Monday night. And of course, you hear that game right here on 97.3 ESPN, your home for the Eagles, Sixers, Flyers, college football, and more here in South Jersey. All right, you heard the sounder. Caller number 7. You will be in for this year's 99 Bottles Party. The number is 609-573-3776. 609-573-3776. That's the number you call to qualify. Today is one of the final days for you to get in for 99 Bottles Party, which will be next Wednesday at the Anchorage Tavern in Summers Point, where Mike Gillum Sports Bash will be broadcasting live from 2 to 6 p.m. You call number 7 at 609-573-3776. You are in for this year's 99 Bottles Party. I'm Josh Hennig. This is Game Night. Sixers basketball at 7:30 on 97.
Do you constantly criticize yourself? Are your thoughts about yourself usually negative? By shifting our inner dialogue, we